Welcome back to the Sunday Roast, round 12 review. I'm filling in for Jev. Darc, welcome back. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm actually feeling a lot better. I thought it was Carlton that made me feel sick. I got very sick over the weekend. And I think it was just from that first half, mate. I was doing 180s on the bowl. I had a temperature, the sweats, the shits, throwing up in the toilet. And I think it was the undercooked Palmer that we had on Friday night. Not saying where, it was at the bridge. I think it was the guy's first. I literally ordered it and it came out. So I think they just got a frozen piece of chicken with some cheese and ham on it. I think that's what made me crook. But now that I think of it, I think it was the Blues versus Melbourne.
Well, it's funny. It's funny you say that. I've been crook as a dog all weekend, and I didn't eat the Palmer, so maybe it was the Blues.
It has to be the Blues because I'm sick of it, Morgs. I'm
Can you?
absolutely.
You've said it a number of times in the group chats. You've said you're doing 180s on the bowl. What what does that mean?
Well, when you don't have a bucket to throw up in, you're doing a shit, and then you do a 180, and then you vomit in the bowl, and then you do another 180, then you shit again.
Right, it was a bit of gastro style.
Yeah,
Okay, like it.
that's why doing 180s. I'm like a dog chasing his tail, and then the smell of the shit makes you vomit, and then you need to shit again. It was horrendous. I've had a shocking weekend.
No doubt this is helping the YouTube algorithm. Being sick, what better way to spend the weekend to just watch a fuck ton of footy, which is what we both did. It started Friday night, Dust. As you said, you had a stone cold Palmer. It's Carlton Melbourne Friday night at the G. The D's grind out a victory to inflict more pain on our sorry Blues, Dust. It was a pretty average game, really, in the end. It was 8-13-61 to 6-8-44. Petrarca kicked the first. Your man, Dust, some financial investment in his Brownlow, maybe got another 3 votes. He kicked the first at $18. And the Blues were sort of in striking distance. It was pretty close. I can't believe we only kicked 6 goals. And then Maxi Gawn, he kicked one from like 55, and that was the nail in the coffin. Did you watch the end of this, Darcy, or you went to bed?
No, I went to bed. I went to bed in this one. I'd had enough. As soon as you're starting to watch from you look at sort of from the kickouts, they're not taking the inboard ones, and you see someone sort of floating out the back, and they're not taking any sort of risk. You sort of knew what sort of game it was going to be. And I'm glad listening to a few other pods and watching some other review sort of shows that they were saying that it was a terrible game as well. I remember watching, I'm like, surely someone else agrees that this is one of the worst spectacles. Now, I said I was going to go to pretty much every game this year. So did you. And a 7:50 start time on a Friday when you got work the next day, we've been playing shit house. It's not appealing. I'm not going. And the fans showed. You could, when you look at, there was fuck all people there. Maybe 55, 56.
Compared to we were at Carlton Brisbane at Etihad, that was chock-a-block, probably the fullest I've ever seen Marvel and an interstate club. And then, we sort of just brought Melbourne down to our level, didn't we? Just made it that shit football.
Oh.
They didn't kick many goals either. And then you compare that to Port's first quarter. It's like, fucking hell, what are we doing?
There's nothing I really want to touch on from the Blues, but it's just you got Matt Owies that had 5 touches, 0 score involvement. DeConing 8 touches, 0 score involvement. Boyd's a backline player, but 9 touches. Lockie O'Brien, 9 touches. Dow, 9 touches. I know as a sub. Chincotta, 10. Lockie Young, Louis Young, 11. Motlop, 11, 1 point. Curnow, only 1 goal. We're not getting anything. Cottrell, 12 touches. We're just getting no pressure up forward. Every time it comes in, it's straight out. It's not staying in there. We're not taking any risks. I think we did once or twice in the game. We got it forward. It was a very disgusting game. Well done to Melbourne. Obviously, no Oliver's still in the side, and they're just still chalking up the wins. They're a much better side than we are. We are 5 losses on the trot, which if you told me at the start of the year that's what was going to happen, I would not have believed you. But, very disgusting. Shit game. Good game to Melbourne. Good win to Melbourne, but we're in some need of some soul searching, my friend.
It was, as you said, the touches. We can't, it's either one or the other. If you remember probably the last month, we've played sort of 3 out of 4 games at Marvel, and we would have had we had the top 5 leading disposal getters on the ground. We were still losing the game. Now we play on the MCG and it's Melbourne. Can't get our hands on the ball. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Harry kicked 3, so I guess he sort of ended his woes. The last month, I had a look. He kicked 3 goals, 7 in a month. That's a bad old month for old H. And he came out and kicked 3. So I don't know if he ended his woes, but that'll at least help his confidence. Melbourne are no world beaters at the moment. They wouldn't be that happy with that win.
Nah, but at this time of year, you just need to keep chalking them, and then you'll figure it out towards the back end of the year. You know what I'm so interested for? We said we're going to Melbourne, so Carlton Essendon this Sunday. And any outcome is hilarious.
It honestly is. We've got a lot of Bomber supporters, a lot of Carlton supporters going. There's going to be tears either way. That's for sure.
If we win, I'll laugh. We'll probably scrap out some shitty win or like have a lead and then they come back. If it's a draw, I'll laugh. If we lose, I'll laugh. Like,
You, you're going to. I think you're going to Carlton Collingwood. But if we lose to Essendon, I have zero interest in going again this year. And you can't say I haven't tried. I think this will be my sixth game this year. I've
yeah,
got no more interest.
no, you've definitely tried.
Someone,
But as I said, what do we do?
I don't know, mate. It sounds like the same old podcast every week. You being upset about the Blues, and rightfully so.
It's shit house. Next game, I'm sick of it.
Next game, Port Hawthorn, Saturday Arvo in Adelaide. This was just a tale of one half, Das. The final score was 23-13, 156 to Hawthorn 14-12, 96. That didn't really do it justice. I had a look. The most important score was the score that was at halftime. 16-9, 105 to 3-5, 23, Das. It was an annihilation in the first half. Hawthorn sort of showed some fight, but it was all Port. Did you see much of this game?
I actually watched the whole thing, and this first half was unfucking believable. Every single anything that could go right went right. Not just saying like it was lucky for Port, but they won it everywhere. They ran forward. Finlayson came out, kicked 4 in the first quarter. He's having an unbelievable season. We had three people actually kick 5. Bruce kicked 5 goals, 3. Finlayson kicked 5, and Todd Marshall ended up kicking 5. Junior Rioli kicked 4 as well. So it was absolute goal central. I reckon after we went to Adelaide, we went there for the cricket. I cannot wait to go watch footy there. And after Gather Round, I just reckon aesthetically on a really good day, like that Saturday Arvo, it looked unbelievable. Like the deck looked perfect. The ball was fizzing around. And you know what I love, Morgs? Red footy. It looked insane. Yeah. So they were going around. They're a very good side. I know people were saying that, Hawthorn sort of won back in the second half, but the Port didn't have to.
That's right. Yeah.
And not only that, like it's very hard to sustain another 100 points for a half, kicking 200 points for a game. It's almost impossible.
That's right. All the system goes out the door. Everyone wants to kick a goal. Everyone wants to get touches. Port sort of just looked spooked. They had no Sicily, so they obviously didn't have their skipper. Port were on, and Hawks looked spooked. Port were on, Hawks weren't, and yeah, it was just a bloodbath. I did want to touch on Darc. Luke Bruce, your man. You've spoken about him all year. Kicked his 500th goal. They brought up his stats. So he's kicked 500 goals and won 4 premierships for Hawthorn. And I think the list was Roughhead. Is it Dunstall? Did he win 4 premierships?
Dunstall, Roughhead. I think I saw this. And
it was another. I forget who it was, but it was a star. He's in rare air, and I can't believe it's true. But everyone's just saying he walks straight into the Hall of Fame, which
probably does now. Like you can't name too many other small forwards that have kicked 500. But not only that, he sat behind Buddy, Roughhead, Gunston, and who's the other one we had? And Cyril for most of his career. And he still kicked 500 goals.
He looks cherry ripe as well. He could go another year easy.
He looks unbelievable. Now, if you're doing this game, it's very hard to give the votes. I think you almost have to give it to Connor Rozee. I think he was the third-rated, highest-ranked fantasy player on the ground. I'd almost go Rozee, Finlayson, and then Butters. I think Rozee had like 13 or 12 inside 50s. He was having a ping at everything as well, but I thought he was the best player on the ground watching it. Butters was still incredible, but I definitely think Rozee outshined. And Finlayson, I'll tell you what, he's going to be he's the secret weapon. Now that, especially because Charlie Dixon will probably come back in. You could probably play him in the ruck a little bit more so Lysette doesn't have to play the full game. Georgiades is obviously out for the season. And then Todd Marshall's back in the side there. It's like the rich get richer. When you're going well, you're going so well. And they've just got like so many good things going for them at the moment.
That's what I said to Jeff the other day. When you're winning, your list looks incredible. As soon as you start losing, you're like, geez, we've got some holes. And they just look like their list is incredible. So what I will be interested to see, Darc, is Brownlow night. Because Rozee was always that player that you just watch the game and he just stuck out like a sore thumb. And you knew he'd get the votes from the umpires. But I reckon Butters is now in that territory. He probably went under the radar for a bit. But now that everyone knows how good he is, so Rozee had 29 and Butters had 26. But then I had a look on, I don't know where I saw it, but Butters was voted best player on the ground. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets their flowers coming in. Yeah.
Wow. No,
I don't know who it was. Someone had Butters as best on the ground.
Like He might like
He might
you're splitting hairs.
definitely. It's just
Wow,
going to be how the umpires see it.
that's interesting. Well, if Finlayson kicks 5 and like surely one of them gets almost 5. I just think Rosie had so many inside 50s. Like it's hard. It's hard not to see. And he went to put scoreboard pressure on. You know who else is a gun? Miles Bergman.
Isn't he? Do you know?
He is so good.
He used to be a party instructor with me at In Sports, and dead set. I used to train him up. Mum said he's going to be an AFL footballer, and I thought that's unreal. And then next thing I hear Miles Bergman the other day, I'm like, what the fuck, mate? He's a star.
He's so good, and
Huge.
he looks a bit like I thought it was Horn Francis everywhere, and I'm like, no, it's Bergman.
Yeah, he's a bit more athletic than Horton Francis. A bit thinner. Yeah, he's going to be something else.
I think they were saying that. Obviously, because he's from Victoria, I think he's out of contract this year. So
Right.
go get yourself some money, young fella.
We'll have him at the Blues.
Oh man,
It should be said, Finlayson, he kicked 4 in the first quarter and he kicked the first at $9. It should be said. I don't think we said that.
we also had someone in the Discord with a ticket.
Yeah, was it a raffle ticket? That's huge. Bring back the ticket stars.
So for anyone that doesn't know, so in the Discord that we do have, someone's actually gone to the tab and they've placed a first goal bet on Finlayson, and then it obviously cashed, and then he sent us the winning ticket. So obviously he's gone in, he's printed out some paper, and we absolutely love it. There's nothing better when you're there, especially with a few boys having a few beers and actually playing the tickets. It's good.
Could cold hard cash maybe be your ticket back into Here Comes the Money?
Well, I'm thinking so because I'm not putting any money back into the account because
You've lost your digital 1,000, but who's to say you couldn't get a blueberry down at the tab?
yeah, I reckon I might just set up a booth there, head there on Friday night, and just work on some extras. But no, Port Adelaide were unbelievable. Looking forward to the next half of the year. If they can cement a top 2 spot, it's out of them in Brisbane. You'd think for the second spot, you think Collingwood are just going to run over the top with it.
And you could see Sam Mitchell wasn't too bothered about the result, I don't think. They're not obviously in that stage. They probably overachieved and got a win. Was it last week they got a win?
Yeah, they got a win against St Kilda.
Yeah, cost you a heap of cash.
They won 2 in a row. And look, obviously without James Sicily in that first bit, they looked like no one had that loose player flying up for the ball.
Yeah.
Like they're almost waiting for someone spare, but they weren't. And Port Adelaide are a good team at home.
That's right. Next game, Darc. I don't know much if you saw this. West Coast Collingwood over at Optus. West Coast actually put up a fight. They probably played their best stretch of football they've played all year. It didn't show it at the end. The Pies ended up winning by 63 points. I couldn't believe seeing this on the Coleman, Darc. So Oscar Allen, he kicked 3 in this game. He's in the top 5 of the Coleman. That's unbelievable.
He's had a good year. And it's almost like some of them are just like when the other teams are out just like against the flow of play. Like his first one, little Joe Lagoose in the goal square, but he's doing really well. He's doing unbelievable. Jebs, man, gave him shit for picking him in the futures team, but mate, he's making me look like an idiot.
Definitely. It's unbelievable. And he's, to be on the bottom of the ladder by so far and to be in the top 5. Jack Chris kicked the first. Now, he was in the unlisted players. This is a shit market, so you don't even get any value for Chris. So he's just in the $4.
You know what I don't get? I swear that market used to be $41.
It might have been.
No, it makes sense because if you get all the top 12 players from either side, goal scorer, they should be like from favorite to least favorite. And then if you get someone outside of that, like a ruckman or a defender or a fullback that comes through and kicks a goal, that should be 40. Like, why would I put money on? So I've got 24 favorite players to kick a goal, but I'm going to pick someone outside of that for $4.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, they're obviously not goal kickers.
I swear it used to be 41, so that's why you put it on to have a stab at someone.
Geez, 41's good, Dosh.
I swear to God it was, but I could be wrong.
I don't think we need to touch on the DeGoey thing because every bloody podcast and their dog will talk about it. I think he'll just get 3 weeks. It is what it is. Dacos kicked 3, Ian Hill kicked 3, Johnson kicked 3, Myercheck 3, Cox 2, and then have a listen to this, Darc. Dom Sheed had 42 disposals. He got his credit on the broadcast. Liam Duggan had 33, so 2 West Coast players on top. Mitchell had 30. Nick Dacos had another 30 and 3. That's a fucking good game. And Tim Kelly continued his good form. He had 29 and 1.
I've actually got a few stats here for you, Morgs. They must have accidentally counted him up. So they've given Dom Sheed 43. They've given him a coup de fedes.
Wow.
Have a guess what he was paying for 40?
$12.
$41.
41?
41 for Dom Sheed to have a 40 piece.
That must mean he's gone nowhere near it all year.
Oh, he definitely hasn't played that well. He
That's
hasn't played much midfield. So Liam Duggan had 33, as you did mention. So him for 30 was 390. Tom Mitchell and Dacos obviously still very short, around $2 mark for their 30 disposals. But Nick Dacos for 3 goals was $18.
wow. Geez, that's good money. 30 and 3. What a game.
Do you know what's fucked? So people like to crack on that he's not keep winning contested ball and all that sort of stuff. You need to go watch him play because that's not his role in this side. And the fact that what he does behind center as like a quarterback, sets it up, and he takes a lot of the smaller kicks, wins the ball back, but takes the kicks that no one else can't. So on the weekend, just think what he's doing as a halfbacker. So on the weekend, he almost played a little bit more like a bit like center of forward. Can you imagine if he got to play a role? Obviously, with De Goey out now, he'll play a lot more midfield. Can you imagine if he got to play like that Judd role? How much more damaging he'd be forward of center. Like Judd was like in 04, like that those young years, forward to center, running forward, kick goals. You saw that goal where he came off the bench. So he actually got an interview after the game, and they asked, so what happened there? So I'm pretty sure Bobby Hill was meant to go back on ball, but injured himself. So Fly's like, yeah, go on for the last little bit of the quarter, but don't go too fast. I don't want you running too fast. And then hit the ball with steam, 2 bounces, got it back, and kicked the goal. Apparently Fly wasn't too happy with him. But that's how much he means. Like they told him, all right, we don't want you to crack the whips too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Imagine him just playing midfield, how much more he can damage that scoreboard. He's kicked like probably almost 10, 11 goals as a defender this year. It's unbelievable. He's a freak.
He probably would be straight in the midfield for any other team, but they just have such a luxury with so many players that can play midfield. He can be so damaging a half back, which like probably Mitchell, Pendlebury, they probably won't have the same damage at half back as he's going to have. So what a luxury to have.
Well, I think they're saying champion data came out and like they're saying the most damaging player on the ground now this year has been the halfback. So a Dawson, a Dacos, a Sinclair, any of those sorts of guys, they're the most damaging in creating score involvement as well. So it just goes to show, as you said, West Coast put up a fight, but mate, they're a good team, Collingwood, and they're just going to keep rolling. You'd almost be shattered if you're on the fringe there because there's so many guys coming up. Like I know Ginnivan didn't probably have his best game, so it's like, is he going to come back out? Guys will be a bit tight in the sphincter, I reckon. Like you just want to keep playing well.
I know like Collingwood have had their down years, but geez, you kissed on the dick as a Pie supporter. Like even that performance, like that's exactly what you want to see. Your team's not going to be as motivated. You're playing at West Coast. West Coast get their tails up, and then you just handle them. You just handle them. You have the De Goey thing, and you end up winning by 63 points. Like that is just a professional win. They're doing it well, the Pies. It's so exciting to watch as a Blue supporter.
Have they even had it bad? They've been in like 10 prelims in the last 20 years.
They finished that one season they finished third last, didn't they?
Yeah, and then came out, that was 2 years ago, and then came out playing a prelim.
I guess, yeah.
Imagine us doing that.
Fucked. No, we can't get started. We'll be here all day.
Grand finals, prelims, like they've
the Lions. Do you remember 20 years? Like the Lions went back to back to back, and then had one of the worst 10 years ever. And then now they're just perennial prelims. And what are we doing? We were in 99, Darc. That was before the three-peat.
Port played in the grand final in 04, 1-1, and then was shithouse, and now they're good again.
Mate, honestly, as I said, we have to stop.
The bell curve of our rebuild is going, and all of the teams are just dipping in and out, and just I'm sick of it.
It's not even a bell because the line hasn't come up yet.
Nah, shit.
As I said, we can't. We'll be here all day. Saturday night, Dogs Cats under the lid. Pretty decent game of footy, Darc. It looked like the Dogs just had a step on them from what I saw early, and then just the reigning premiers got away with it. Massive injury list. Dangerfield, Guthrie, Duncan, Radigalia, Stanley, and Max Home were all not playing in this game. So they go into the bye 6-6, 15-7-97, 10-15-75. So that was the difference. The margin was less than a goal at every change. So that's a good game of footy. Aaron Naughtiness kicked the first at $10. Darc, did you see much of this?
No, I didn't. So usually if I'm sitting out in the back room, I've got dual screens on, but
Yeah.
obviously I was pretty much shitting my pants. So I was just in my own room trying to keep to myself for the weekend. I needed an adult nappy. So I decided to tune into Gold Coast and Adelaide because I really like watching those two teams, even if it was in the Northern Territory, a little bit slippery. But I did obviously got the little box score on the side and just kept looking at it. Really interesting here, Morgs. 22 individual goal scorers.
I know.
You
Unbelievable. Not one multiple goal scorer for the Dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. No, there actually wasn't. Ugle Hagen kicked 1 goal 3, you're right. But
So
and you couldn't I went to have a look because I had all the markets. Really wanted to because there's nothing really to spurt out here because it's all like small sort of touches. Everything's it would have been a great multi-fill if like you just had everyone for the basics, but couldn't get Tom Stewart for a snag on the score sheet for an any time because that would have been huge. He played a hell of a game. Obviously, kicked that one in the 10 touches and then a snag in the last quarter for Tommy Stewart. What a player! But no, it looked like a real arm wrestle of a game. But they got it. I did not think Geelong were going to win that game.
obviously would love to ask Jeff, he's not here, but Tommy Stewart was probably in trouble because not probably his own form, but pyramid wise, there was so many blokes coming in. Do you reckon he keeps his spot?
Probably.
10 touches and a goal in the last, and to get the win, probably just keeps you in.
Yeah, well, like from the highlights and like from watching everyone said that he had an like unbelievable game, and he was the one that set him up. Like I didn't watch the game, so I probably can't comment on it too much. But same thing again, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top 5 ball getters on the game were all Dogs, and then you got Tom Stewart, then you got Bont after that. Then you got Blitzarves and McRae. So it's English, Daniel, Trelaw, Libba, Dale. They do what they always do. They get their hands on it a lot, but obviously just not being able to impact that scoreboard. Like Tim English, I mean, Aaron Norton hasn't kicked that many goals this year. Jamara hasn't they don't just go through and just kick bags, do they?
They're not working that well together. As I said, I heard Derm say it about a month ago. He reckons naughtiness just tells you to just get out of my 50, and it's not helping either of them.
And your man, Anthony Scott, couldn't hit the scoreboard.
First time in 6 weeks. What's a man supposed to do? What do you have? 22 individual goal scorers, and I couldn't snag Tony Scott for one.
Oh, damn it. You know
Jeez.
what?
Yeah, you go.
Do you see where they were playing? They're playing Rory Lobb up on a wing.
Yeah, right. Richo style.
They got him. Well, I think he kicked 30-something goals last year, and they're playing him up on the wing. That can't be the spot for him.
His missus will probably say something in the media, just like Johannesson said.
Yeah, probably.
Send a message. Geez, the Cats are doing it again, aren't they? Though, just bank the wins and then go on a tear. You have as I said, I listed all those injuries. I know they're injuries, but still, it's only that one. They're still going to come in pretty fresh when they do come in, and their list is still probably as good as anyone's.
Well, they've got the bye this week.
Yeah, I think that's why Paddy didn't play. So he comes back in fresh after the bye, and yeah,
That's when the real season starts.
it's great. They're just looks like they're doing it again.
I hate it, but I'd love to see it again. Just because and just take clips from all the men. They're done, and just be like, they know.
Exactly. Moving on, the game you're all over, Gold Coast versus the Crows up in Darwin. Sort of everyone predicted it. From what I saw, obviously you and Jeff, I can't exactly remember who you tipped, but from all the media that I saw, most people just tipped the Suns, just staying up there for the extra week and the heat. And obviously they're playing pretty well. So they won 112-87. Big Tofu Casbolt kicked the first at $18. Now, Darc, 2 weeks ago I filled in for you on the Sunday roast, and Casbolt kicked the first. And I said to Jeff, he was the third Suns favourite. He's worth a sprinkle every week. He's the third favourite for the Suns, and he's kicked it 2 times in 3 weeks. Jack Lukosius, he continues his 08 Buddy Franklin form. Another bag of 5 for this. Darc, tell me what happened this game.
Like, this game was unbelievable. Like, this is the second week in a row up in their territory. They need to be playing more games up there. So the reason why a lot of people tip Gold Coast as well, Adelaide have been really good at home, but I think they've won 7 of their last 20 on the road.
Wow.
Oh, no. Sorry. I think their last 27, they're 7-20.
Yeah, right.
So, like, very, very bad on the road. So, obviously, coming into this game, Gold Coast kicked the first, and then the Crows get out to a really good lead. It's obviously 35 points up.
Wow.
And then the Gold Coast Suns kicked 9 in a row. It was an arm wrestle at 3/4 time, only 4 points up. And then, obviously, the Suns kicked away, playing a lot better. You could tell that the heat was definitely getting to the Crows players. At quarter time, they got to go into, like, the cool room. So all the Adelaide players were in there while Gold Coast obviously just stayed out on the ground. It was a really weird, like, obviously, if you're looking at the stats, like had a few people being like, "Oh, does Dawson get another 3 because he's obviously the highest rated player on the ground, and another 30 and a goal?" But I actually wouldn't have said he's best on. I probably would have said Anderson would have been best on, Lukosius after that, then probably Dawson. Like just watching it, Anderson had 28 and 2, which was unbelievable. Lukosius had 5 goals. Ben Keys was actually unbelievable. So he tagged Raul. Raul only had 15 touches, but he had 10 clearances.
Yeah,
So like he's just all head in the furnace sort of stuff.
he couldn't help himself. He had an outside game last week, but he just wanted back into the furnace.
It's unbelievable. The amount of head over the onion sort of stuff for that kid. It's unbelievable. But Ben Keys, he tagged him and had 25 and 2 goals too. Probably should have kicked 4 goals actually. So that's a great game for him. Every time he plays the Blues, he tags someone and has a big game, kicks 3 goals. The week before, he tagged Lockie Neal.
Yeah.
He's been playing outside of the middle a lot more now that they've got Dawson. Like even guys like Saligo and stuff are going in the midfield a lot more than him. Like Scholl's going through, Rochelli's going through. And he was playing less and less midfield minutes. I reckon even though they lost, I reckon they're a better side when he's in it. Like he's very chaotic. Like he's not like a textbook footballer. Like
No.
he sprays the ball a bit, but he just goes a million miles an hour and like disrupts contests a lot more. So I actually like him in the middle.
Yeah, chaos.
Yeah, which is good, but I'm all on the Suns. Honestly, fuck, I'm not watching the Blues anymore. Like I'm genuinely invested in watching the Suns trying to make their first finals berth. I would love to see him make the 8. You got a lot of obviously young kids coming through. Bailey Humphrey re-signed a contract that could be an absolute steal. He went pick 6. I've been saying is the same size as Toby Green. Kicked 2 goals. Kicked the one to get them going back when they were down by 5 goals. And they look like a really good team to be around. Now they're getting a few wins. Pressure's a little bit off Stewie, and it looks like that they're really enjoying their footy, and it's good to watch.
This is probably a casual take, don't get me wrong, but how does it work with their Darwin games? Like, it's almost a little bit of a cheat code for them. Like, so do they play another Darwin game this year?
No, I think that's so. They played 2 last year back to back. So they played Hawthorn and someone last year, and then they played obviously
They played Melbourne last year as well.
Melbourne, and then they played the Bulldogs and then Adelaide this year. So I think it's just a signage thing that they have with them, but they need to because obviously they're used to the Gold Coast heat, and this is just even hotter. Like that's what a team like this needs. That's why at least when Tassie has Tassie, hopefully that there'll be like a Hawthorn or a North down there, or better than North. But it's almost like it's impossible to win down there. Just the conditions are a little bit different. And that's the same thing up north. Like that should be what makes it so hard to play out there, that it's so hot. So they look good. They're exciting. Finally got players back. They've still got Tuke Miller to come back in. Arguably their best player. So it's very exciting times for the Suns.
And I said to Jeff this 2 weeks ago, it's so good having actually a home ground advantage as a thing. Like in Melbourne, there's grounds with 5 teams as their home ground advantage. It's actually so good making it go up to Gold Coast, and it's tough to beat them, especially at Darwin. I mean, obviously they play their games there for money and trying to grow the club, but if it also means that you win a high percentage of games up there, play 4 games out of your 12 home games or whatever it is. No one goes to the Metricon anyway, do they?
No.
Maybe they do.
I'd love to go to Metricon.
We'll go to Darwin next year. Gather round at Darwin. 100K gather round. We'll just see one game and stay for a week. Hey, moving on.
MU Exports.
GWS, the Sunday Arvo games, GWS versus Richmond in GWS. This turned into a thriller, Darc. I'm not sure what you saw of it. Tigers won in the end, 110 to 104. The Tigers came out early like the O2 Lions. They led at quarter time by 40 to 16. And then eventually the Giants picked it back. The Tigers did lead at every change, but from what I saw, I reckon the Giants probably went into the rooms after the game thinking they 100% should have won the game. Marlon Piggott put the sword to the Giants on his left. What else did I have? Jack Rewalt. So he retired last week. Dickie told me he retired on the field last week on the MCG. He wound back the clock. He kicked the first at $9 and joined the illustrious 5 and 15 club. Timmy Taranto, he had 36 against his old mob. And Lockie Whitfield, he continues probably the best month of football he's ever played in his life with another 33. What did you see here, Darc?
Mate, you can't retire when you're going back to a ground that you kicked 11 on only a few years ago. When you've kicked 11 on a ground, I'll tell you what, you'll be taking the boots out of the bin, you'll be putting them on, and you'll be lacing up again next week. He hadn't, just a classic Jack Rewalt game, just use the body well. is if he kicks a couple early, he's on.
Yeah.
He's absolutely on. And then his demeanor changed. He'll start to jump for the ball a little bit more, start to put on shepherds. Doesn't bark as much. It was a really good game. It's the ground seemed to they kept talking about. So is that where they have the fair or whatever?
I don't know if it was the Sydney show, but it's at the showgrounds.
Yeah, because you could see some of it behind, but they said the ground was still repairing from that.
Yeah, right.
So because it still looked a little bit fucked on the side, and people were slipping over heaps. And I'm like, footy hasn't been played there in weeks, so I don't know why it's in such average condition. But either way, it was so good to watch. Especially that last little bit. 12 goals in the last quarter, 7-5, GWS's way, and like they hit the front, and then you thought they were going to get it back, and as you said, just went out the back. Marlon Pickett kicked that goal in the end. Look, great for Tigers fans. I'd still rate GWS. I still think that they're a good side. Same as Adelaide. Like the ladder doesn't show it. Like GWS are currently, what are they? 15th on the ladder. Adelaide are 9th, just outside, or equal on points. But like I'd say GWS, they're a better team than us at the moment.
Oh, fucking oath. That's such a better team than us. Well, they have a direction, you know?
We only just beat them. Toby Green obviously still kicked his couple of goals. How about big Kieran Briggs back in the side? He had, I think it's his 13th game, 11 touches, 2 goals, 1, the big fella, 201 centimetres, 108 kegs. The big Briggs shithouse.
When you say back in the side, when was he in the side?
It's his 13th game.
Unbelievable. Big Briggs.
He's just been banging in the kneeful. He's banging hips with blokes.
I was spewing. I had a Toby Green graphic ready to put on Instagram, and I couldn't use it because Marlon Pickett put the dagger into the GWS Giants and me. Lockie Whitfield, though, does. Another one. He has to be coming for Pyramid, does he not?
Yeah, 100%. Well, you definitely have to be up there in that position type role. Obviously, that winger, you need to run. And that's why I can't believe, like, back to the Dogs point, like, you get Rory Lobb up on a wing. Like, look what Whitfield does. Look at any of the other good wingers in the AFL. Like, you put Josh Dacos out on a wing. Like, you have Rory Lobb out there.
Or Blake Acres.
Yeah, Blakers.
Don't do it.
No, I won't do it. But yeah, really good win. Also, shout out Finn Callahan, the boy, local product, Morty Bray product. Really good. Another 23 disposals and a snag. He's going to be a jet, a genuine gun. We love him.
You've been all over him, and good to bet on as well. I think, was he in this week's multi?
Yeah, $1.70.
That's such good value. When will they learn?
$1.70 for 20.
Hey, what's that?
$1.70 for 20 touches.
When will they learn? That'll come in next week, surely.
100%. Oh, and also shout out being a Daniels. Hopefully the hamstring is okay. We got subbed off at halftime with a hammy.
Did he go off with a snag or no snags?
Yeah, 7 touches and a snag.
Oh, so he was on track.
Mate, he's a jet.
Everything he touches turns to gold.
He does. Binger.
Final game, Darc, the Bachelor's game, Sunday night. It was not. This turned into, honestly, the best show on turf, really. 2
games in a row, decided by 6 points. Incredible.
There you go. North Essendon under the lid. This would have been a frustrating game for both sides as supporters. But yeah, as a neutral, this was a cracker. Kyle Langford kicked the first at $13, depending on who you're betting with, of course, Darc. Dwayne Russell, he nearly creamed his jeans multiple times in the fourth quarter. Didn't he love this contest? It's 105.99. There was multiple lead changes. Substitute Massimo D'Ambrosio. How did I go that? He snapped the match-winning goal. He went off his head. About 2 minutes left. Kicked a snap. And that was what sort of did it. But Darc, the man to watch, the brand new, I'm announcing it. It hasn't been announced yet, but I am happy to say, brand new Pyramid player, Zach Merritt. I had him for a goal in the 100K at a $3.75, and I shirked having him for 30 because I only paid $1.40, which I couldn't believe for only $1.30. So last time he played the Roos, he had 38 and 2. And then last night he had 34 and 2. He's in some serious form.
Mate, as you said, Zach Merritt, you said at the start of the week, this is going to be the fill-up part of the multi. You thought it could be the biggest leg we've ever had in the multi, like payway raid-wise, which it was close. I think our biggest we had, who did we have?
I reckon you had Josh Kennedy.
Yeah, no, we had him for 5 goals in his last home game, which was a great leg. But Zach Merritt for a snag, you did call it at $3.70, which is unbelievable, mate. But as we said, Dwayne Russell, doesn't matter what time of game it is. I swear he's got cock in one hand, microphone in the other, and he's just absolutely loving every minute of it. Like, you heard the last 3 minutes of the game. No one else even chimed in with special comments. It's just go Dwayne. Like, he just loves it. It's going to need something crazy here. Oh, baby. He just
And
loves
it's not even annoying. Like, it's not like he talks too much. He's just loving it. It makes you love it.
I actually want to know, like, so he's come out with the Air Jordan. Jordan Ridley's come out the back with about 2 minutes to go. He's punched it out and he's gone the Air Jordan. I'd love to know how many like nicknames and stuff he's got for players highlighted, ready to go.
Yeah. I've got a few messages as well. Late, sort of Zerk Thatcher just got outbodied. I don't know if you saw that. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how he's going in the reverse Coleman, but I just wanted to, like, speaking of our multi, so we had a $40 multi, a same game multi within the 100K this week. So we had Jai Menzies snag, that got up. Zach Merritt for 1, he kicked 2 goals. Then we had Stringer for 3, I only kicked 1.
Yes.
We had him for 15, he had 17. Nick Martin for 20, he had 21. And then Bailey Scott for 25, only had 19. But for a 40-1 multi in the 100K, that's a bloody good bet.
That is a fucking good bet.
It was a great game to watch.
It was a great game to watch, as you did say. That's what you want. I'm really enjoying more mutual games now. I think it's just because Carlton are really pissing me off. I'm really looking forward to matchups. Like, what do I enjoy watching? And like, I really enjoyed watching the Gold Coast game. I'm sure I would have liked the Geelong Bulldogs game as well. But the 2 games on Sunday, it's good pure footy. There's a lot of good matchups. There's only a few shit teams like the West Coast game, like. Those teams are shit. You sort of want to avoid them. But a lot of the other games, they're going to be a lot of even contests, which pretty much brings us into next week, which I'm so excited with. So we got the Blues. Oh, yeah, whatever there. So on Friday night, so you got the Swans and Saints.
Yep, it's a good game.
Contest. Bulldogs and Port Adelaide at Marvel.
Yep, it's a good game.
Hawks Brisbane.
It's okay.
Yeah. Adelaide West Coast.
It's okay.
Freo Richmond.
Yeah, there you're talking.
Over there. North GWS, yeah.
Okay.
Carlton Essendon.
Yeah.
And then Melbourne Collingwood.
It's round of the year.
Yeah, it is round of the year.
Collingwood Melbourne is the one. That's going to be unreal because I don't think we've probably got a good showing of where Melbourne are at, but I think we will on Monday.
So this is one last year. So you had Melbourne, they lost to Freo. I think they lost. Maybe it was Collingwood the next week, and this is the start of the Collingwood run.
Yeah,
where they won, and like they came back, and it was just all you could hear was Collingwood with like 3 minutes to go through your TV sets. Like it was unbelievable, but yeah, it was actually a really good round. Obviously, we've still got a couple more weeks of the bye round till we get back to full schedules, but I really enjoyed it.
It should be said. So Zerha, he kicked 4, Larky kicked 2. Coleman Jones kicked 2. I think, it was a good effort from the Roos, but they just didn't get it done. I've got a question for you to ask.
Here we go.
The bye round.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs to be fixed.
Here we go.
Byes suck. So I had a thought. What if we did, so 1 week we do rivalry round. So you play it as if it's finals. So you just go 1 game Friday night, 1 game Saturday Arvo, 1 game Saturday night, and 1 game Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go Carlton Collingwood, Essendon Richmond, and then 2 other rivalries you want to pick. Play a showdown and play a derby. Because they're games, it doesn't matter where the teams are on the ladder, the games mean something. So those 8 teams are playing that week. 10 teams have it off, but we don't really care because they're 4 decent games. Mm. Then the next week, those 8 have the week off, and you've got 10 games, which means 10 teams, which means we've got 5 games the next week, and there's our bye sorted. Rather than this month-long saga. Or I saw in the media that someone said just have every team off for a week and we'll just go to Mount Buller or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know I think you'd still rather some footy on. Because I know now if I didn't have any footy on to watch, I'd be pissed off.
I agree.
Because I did think the same, like just give them a week, but then I definitely wouldn't want that. Like I still want some footy on. So definitely don't know how you want to do it. I don't mind the rivalry week. It just and sort of
make a thing of it.
Yeah.
Because the good thing about it is they can fixture it easy because those teams always play each other, and it doesn't matter whatsoever where they are on the ladder because those games, as I said, Carlton Collingwood, even though we were there last week, will always mean something.
No, you're right. No, I actually don't mind it, and just to pump it up, get a showdown.
A derby, Carlton Collingwood, Essendon Richmond. Send that to Jared Waitley tomorrow and see what he thinks.
God, I want to go to a showdown so bad.
Yeah, on the hill.
especially now with how well both teams are like sort of going.
Do they play again this year?
Yeah, they always do too.
I'm going on Star right now.
Imagine one in the finals.
Oh, that'd be all time. Isn't it heading that way or something? Didn't I see?
Oh, could like they'd have to finish fourth, fifth, and sixth, or they're not going to finish second and third.
I suppose, we've got 12 weeks left.
Maybe. Well, imagine Port finish second, win, prelim. Adelaide finish fucking sixth. Or would have to win fifth. Fifth win or whatever, and then they meet up in a prelim.
It'd be huge. I had no idea. I was trying to help you. I had no
idea. My brain trying to figure that out. Because I know they cross over, but I'm like, then they'd have to come. Fuck it.
Hey, hell of a show, Darc. Thanks for joining me. Jev will be back next week, I think, Sunday roast. And then what have you got? You've only got 2 more left?
Yeah, 2 more, and then I'm off.
You're on sabbatical?
I'm off to brown my body, and
after losing $1,000, you've decided to go spend more money in Bali. And
yeah, this is a personal investment though.
Smart.
This one's going to pay dividends,
which I think will also be an investment for us.
Yeah, you want me coming back a bit more refreshed.
100%. Hey, thanks for joining me, Darc.
Hey, well done, brother.
Hey, enjoy your nap.
I appreciate you.
Cheers.